telephone keypad is a keypad that appears on a touch-tone telephone. It was standardized when the dual-tone multi-frequency system in the new push-button telephone was introduced in the 1960s, which gradually replaced the rotary dial. The invention of the keypad is attributed to John E. Karlin, an industrial psychologist at Bell Labs. The contemporary keypad is laid out in a 4A3 grid, although the original DTMF system in the new keypad had an additional column for 4 now-defunct menu selector keys. Most keypads have a star key or asterisk key on the bottom left and a hash key on the bottom right. Key frequency: when used to dial a telephone number, pressing a single key will produce a dual-tone multi-frequency signaling pitch consisting of two simultaneous pure-tone sinusoidal frequencies. The row in which the key appears determines the low frequency, and the column determines the high frequency. For example, pressing the 1 key will result in a sound composed of both a 697 and a 1209 Hz tone. Layout and characters: the layout of the digits is different from that commonly appearing on calculators and numeric keypads. This was chosen to allow the letter associations from rotary dial phones to have an alphabetic ordering. The asterisk is called the star key, or asterisk key. Is called the number sign, pound key, hash key, hex key, octotype, gate, or square, depending on one's nationality or personal preference. These can be used for special functions. For example, in the UK, users can order a 7.30 alarm call from a British Telecom telephone exchange by dialing 550730. Most of the keys also bear letters according to the following system. 0 equals none, 1 equals none, 2 equals ABC, 3 equals DEF, 4 equals GHI, 5 equals JKL, 6 equals MNO, 7 equals PQRS, 8 equals TUV, 9 equals WXYZ. These letters have had several auxiliary uses. Originally, they referred to exchanges. In the mid-20th century United States, before the advent of all-number calling, numbers were 7 digits long including a 2-digit prefix which was expressed as the letters rather than numbers, for example, KL5-5445. The UK telephone numbering system used a similar 2-letter code after the initial 0 to form the first part of the subscriber trunk dialing code for that region. For example, Aylesbury was assigned OAY6 which translated into 0296. The letters have also been used, mainly in the United States, as a way of remembering telephone numbers easily. For example, an interior decorator might license the phone number 1-800-724-6837 but advertise it as the more memorable phone word 1-800 painter. Sometimes businesses advertise a number with a mnemonic word having more letters than there are digits in the phone number. Usually, this means that the caller just stops dialing at 7 digits after the area code or that the numbers are ignored by the switchboard. In recent times, the letters on the keys are needed also for entering text on mobile phones, for text messaging, entering names in the phone book, etc. Multi-tap and predictive text systems are used. Letter mapping: when designing or selecting a new phone, publishing or using phone words, one should be aware that there have been multiple standards for the mapping of letters to numbers on telephone keypads over the years. The system used in Denmark was different from that used in the UK, which was different from the US and Australia. The use of alphanumeric codes for exchanges was abandoned in Europe when international direct dialing was introduced in the 1960s, because, for example, dialing BIC 8900 on a Danish telephone would result in a different number than dialing it on a British telephone. At the same time, letters were no longer put on the dials of new telephones. Letters did not reappear on phones in Europe until the introduction of mobile phones, and the layout followed the new international standard ITU E161/ISO 9995-8. The ITU established an international standard in the mid-1990s, and that should be the layout used for any new devices. There is a standard that covers European languages and other languages used in Europe, published by independent ETSI organization, ETSI ES 200-130. first published in 2003 and updated in 2007. Since many newer smartphones have full keyboards instead of the traditional telephone keypads, the user must execute additional steps to dial a number containing convenience letters. On certain BlackBerry devices, a user can press the Alt key, followed by the desired letter, and the device will generate the appropriate DTMF tone. See also, dual-tone multi-frequency, push-button telephone, telephone, mobile phone, keypad, references.